I am going to regret this one, but today we are refreshing my bookshelves. See, I can't even stand in the center of this frame right now because there's just a giant pile of books right there, next to a box of books, next to a box of books, next to a pile of books, next to 5 bookshelves that are all overflowing. It has gotten wildly out of control, and today-ish marks 1 year I have left in this lease, which means I'm officially on a countdown of how many books I can read in the time that I have in this apartment. And it's definitely not going to be all of the books behind me. There's no way. I have gotten really tired of seeing books in boxes and on the floor and like sideways like this. I'm getting real sick of it. And so I'm going to spend all of today completely going through all my books. I'm hoping to have a huge unhaul by the end of this. Going through my books, refreshing them. The way I have my bookshelves right now is by genre. I've been going through and doing bookshelf tours genre by genre. Sorry to everyone, but I'm gonna have to pause that and completely restart it because I am doing something a little bit different with my bookshelves. And by that, I mean I'm gonna try it and it's probably not going to work at all, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And I'm probably, catch me in 4 hours, I'm gonna say I regret everything. And then I'm going to have to redo everything again. But we are going to see how much of this I can get done today. The goal today is to get all the books off the shelves, clean the shelves, check their structural integrity because these are the cheap Walmart shelves that were never supposed to last this long with this much weight. So we're gonna have to see. So get everything off, get everything cleaned, go through all my books, get rid of as many as I can, and then prioritize the shelves. I already have a little bit of a plan of what I want the shelves to look like, but I already know from the plan it's not going to work, but we're gonna do it anyway. So we're gonna see if that plan will work, and if it doesn't, then the backup plan is to redo everything again and get everything back on the shelves. We're gonna see how this goes. I already regret it, but we're gonna do it anyway. Let's do it. Okay, super quick tour of what we're looking at right now. These are my Rick Riordan shelves, followed by all of my fantasy. It is a lot of red and TBR. Down there is going to be, see, behind this little thing is my fairy tales. Those are my mythology retellings, Illumicrate books, contemporary romance, both of these, Regency romance usually mass paperback, fiction, hello, focus, thank you. Some non-fiction plus some writing and other crime stuff, travel and cooking, Sarah J. Maas, my Harry Potter stuff, and then in these bins right here, these are going to be a lot of like Hunger Games, dystopia things. This is a lot of YA and then just other books that didn't fit on the shelves. These are more photography books down there. That is the pile of books that I've read recently. This bin is a lot of YA fantasy plus other things that just aren't fitting on the shelves right now. This is the pile of books that are like on my current TBR that I'm working with, and then these are all of the books that I have acquired in the last month, and these are the few that I've already set aside to donate. So that is what we're working with right now. Step 1 is to go through all of these books on the floor right here. Okay, I went through all of the boxes on the floor and I'm actually pretty proud of the amount of books that I am unhauling. So now the next step is probably the hardest one, as I'm going to go through these 2 shelves, which are almost all of my fantasy books. So as you can see, I have a lot of decor items, too many things, honestly, way too many things. It's overwhelming. So I need to go through those, take those off, and then start going through the books. Somebody save me from myself. Look at this. Okay, so the next task is to now put the books back on the shelves. They're cleaned, but as I'm going through, I need to be getting rid of books, but we'll see how well that goes. I have the shelves planned out, but even as I was taking them off, I was like, oh, what if I did this instead? What if I did this instead? So I don't know. I'd love to have like a priority TBR shelf. That would be really fun. So I think I'm gonna have to somehow get over there to my desk where my plan is sitting over there, and go through it. But yeah, I'm already sweating. The fan is at max capacity. Ah! Okay, so I had the thought of collecting all of my priority TBR books, my 25 and 25, but I don't want to separate them from their series, or maybe I will, I don't know. So this is all of them, most of them. I still have Games God's Play up there and a few that I've already read, and I'm hoping to put them on this shelf. But that's a lot of books for one shelf right here. So that's what we're working with right now, and we'll see if I like it or not, because they're all very different sizes and very different vibes. So we'll see. Okay, so technically that works, and I could put the rest of them in a bin off to the side to get them out of the way. That could work. That's not a bad idea. I might do that. It's not very pretty, but it is super helpful. I think I'm gonna do that. Okay, so that unfortunately means that these two shelves are supposed to fit all of the rest of the books, and that is not happening. Like, not even kind of. I have too many books. Maybe I double stack these ones. Should I try that? Should I try double stacking? My other thought was maybe I group them, like put all my pirates together and all of my romantasy together and all my YA together and stuff like that, but I don't think I will. It was a thought. It was a thought for sure. I don't know, but I also want to make sure I put like my good new releases on there. I don't know. Options. I'm gonna try double stacking and see how I like that. I think that's a good bet. I was just getting so excited because I was like, wow, look, I have some space. I can start putting some of my YA books up here. But then I remembered that there's two gigantic piles right here that I just need to double check and make sure I want to keep them. Which means no, I actually don't have extra room right now. Ah! Kill me. Shockingly, I like how this is going. I've completely filled up these two entirely. I did double stack paperbacks and then hardbacks plus some other larger things up there. These that are all facing this way are all books that I am keeping and need to go into bins somewhere. And then all of these so far are the ones that I am unhauling. And I still have all of those on the ground, but that's it. Look, I can see the ground. It's so exciting. Yeah, I still have 3 shelves to go though, but I think it's gonna be way easier. Fantasy was gonna be the hard one, which is why I wanted to do it first. Yeah, so we're gonna do. But I am starving and my back hurts. So I need to go take a break and go eat for a little while, maybe do some reading before I get back at it. Okay, so the bottom looks pretty much exactly as it did before. The top is different. This used to be just contemporary romance, which is what it is already. But now I have on the bottom the contemporary romances that I've already read. And this is my TBR. Technically, I've already read like half of these Ali Hazelwood and Emily Henry books, but I want to reread them all this year. Problem is, I have too many to fit on these shelves. So like this is a bit of an overlap, and I also have like 5 more that are YA contemporary romances that I wanted to fit up here, but they're not going to fit, which sucks. Because some of the YA romances I did want on here. And so now, I don't know what I'm going to do about this. I think I'm going to leave it for now. I know I have, problem is, I have a lot more of these books coming in the mail, like the rest of the Jessica Peter series, and like there's more up here that like I'm waiting for. So these 2 shelves are going to overflow at some point, and I don't know where it's going to go, because fantasy is just taking up all of that, and it's still on the ground over there. So like I don't know where they're going to go. Anywho, we are going to go move on to the last 2 shelves. This one is like they're gonna change a lot and not a lot at the same time. I'm hoping to cull through a lot of books this go around, so we shall see. This is the current mess. It is atrocious. Oh my goodness. Watch me try to fit all of these books on that last shelf. No, I'm joking, but only kind of. So I'm gonna fiddle around with my Regency era portion up there, and also my fiction stacks, which are all right down here. That's all Regency, and then that's also all Regency, and then the rest of this is all of my travel and cooking stuff, and then some nature stuff, some writing stuff. That's all still YA fantasy and other fantasy that didn't fit on the shelves. There's some YA over there, and then all of the decor. It is everywhere. We're gonna keep going. I'm a little tired now. I won't lie. I just sat right here on the floor for a little bit. We keep going. Okay, that is going to be all of the books I'm going to be able to fit. Technically, I could fit a few more here and over here, but I am not going to. I'm going to practice some restraint. I actually really like how these bookshelves are coming out. Now I need to put the other books into bins and decorate the shelves and get rid of things. So my light is fading, sunset is approaching, I am starving, but I refuse to call it quits until we are done. So I'm gonna show you. Oh, I'm staring at so many books right now, look. That was my view before. These are all books, the ones that are all facing this way. These are all ones that I am going to unhaul. I'm so excited. And then all of these are ones that need to fit inside of bins. These should also go inside of bins. I don't really know. And then there is again all of the decor. I got a lot to choose from. Oh, we'll see how long this takes me, but I am loving it so far. did it. I finished. I love the way it came out. I am starving though. I'm gonna go eat dinner and shower, and tomorrow when I have daylight again, I'm so sad I lost it, I will give a full new tour of my new bookshelves. I'm so happy with them. Oh, this was so worth it. It took quite literally the entire day and I am sweaty and exhausted now, but I don't care. It was so necessary. So I will see you tomorrow for a new tour. Okay, are you ready to see the bookshelves? Here they are, far away, how they look. Oh my god, I am actually so happy with these. I've been mildly happy with them the whole time I've lived in this apartment, but truly this is the first time I actually feel like insanely happy with them. Alrighty, so we will start up top. Pretty much everything up here is the same. I have my prints. I just moved a little bit of things up here. I have my little dragon guy. This is an enemies to lovers print. Pride and Prejudice print. I moved my little fairy up here. My little birds. Pride and Prejudice print. Pride and Prejudice print. My trees are up here. And then these are some things from Illumicrate. And I did move this end of the, what are they called? Bookends, yes, up top instead of being down below. Alrighty, so then coming over this way, Percy Jackson used to only take up 1 to 1.5 shelves, but I really have always wanted it to take over 2, so that this side is just entirely the Lightning Thief and Percy Jackson and Olympians. That is my Illumicrate set and the original set that I've owned all my life. Some newer ones, the side things, these are 2 first editions. And then here are some of the companion novels, the graphic novels, and then some later things having to do with Percy. And then everything over here is the rest of the Rick Riordan verse. The Heroes of Olympus, Kane Chronicles, Magnus Chase, Trial of Apollo. I don't have all of the books though, but I have some room for things to go in here. And then down this way, I'm so happy I'm finally able to have, I wish I had a shelf just dedicated to Graceling, but I had to combine it so it's half Graceling and then half Lord of the Rings. This is a 1-ring candle that I cannot wait to burn, and then I need to make this little thing that I got from Target. I don't know what it is, but I need to make it. And then these 3 shelves right here are my red fantasy. These ones being technically my favorites, I want it to be my favorite shelves. So it has One Dark Window, V.E. Schwab, Bookshops and Bone Dust, Where the Dark Stands Still. So I think this is, as I read things from down there, I will move them up, and then other red things go onto these 2 shelves. Oh, this is my Invisible Life of Addie LaRue TBR book jar from Illumicrate. And then up here, these are the other red fantasy shelves that I have, with some of my like crowns that I own, as well as little trinkets and things from over time. So I have read almost all of these. Some of them I just didn't want to, I haven't read these 2 by Naomi Novik, but I didn't want to separate them from her other 2, stuff like that. And then going down here, this one right here is going to be my priority TBR shelf. I have been wanting a shelf like this for so long, and I'm finally like able to see right here. These are the books that I had set out that I really want to get through in 2025. I've read none of them. The ones I have read are no longer on this shelf, but this fit perfectly the exact amount of books I have left. And then these 2 shelves down here are my fantasy TBR. They are both double stacked. This one has all of my paperbacks, and this one down here is all of my hardcovers plus some of my other paperbacks. So these are all of my TBR for my fantasy. At least for my adult fantasy, this is where they all are, and I'm actually really thrilled by how that looks. And then down here, I have my fairy tale books, all my really nice books from Barnes & Noble, and then some of my other fairy tale books, my King Arthur stuff, my mask and bag that I got from Renaissance fairs, and then down here are my mythology books with one of my fantasy tin with all my bookmarks, or half my bookmarks. These are where I keep my like actual Bullfinch's mythology, Iliad and Odyssey books that I have. They're all right there. And then right above it, same as before, I have my mythology retellings, of course, in my Greek myths plate and Olympus and Hades pot from Illumicrate. So that didn't change too much. Lord of the Rings used to be right there, and so now I'm thrilled to have this one just dedicated to my mythology retellings. Up above it is again my Illumicrate. That didn't change too much. I rearranged just a little bit, but I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. And now here I have my contemporary romance. It was like this before, but now I've changed it a little bit. Up top is going to be my Allie Hazelwood and Emily Henry, plus my contemporary romance TBR. So I haven't read any of those books up there, and I put these two up there because I want to reread them both in their entirety this year. So this is the TBR, and then down here are the books that I have read. This is this portion that I am actually kind of scared about, because I will get through these books and there's clearly no more space down here, so I don't really know how that's gonna go. But anyway, we move on. This is kind of like a new section for me. It was like I had an extra shelf that I rearranged for, so I put some of my some of my favorite YA books, but then it's also some YA like romance TBR and some YA fantasy TBR, and then behind there some more like non-romance YA TBR. We will see how that shelf works. I don't really know yet. That might be the overflow for contemporary at some point. But down here I have a little shrine to my Pride and Prejudice books, and then I have a little bit of an overflow of my TBR for my Regency romance, and then the rest of that TBR goes into this shelf for just most of my books, and then up here to my mass paperbacks. So there's a ton of mass paperbacks back there. There's just a lot of Regency romance books that are pretty much everywhere at this point. Down here now is new. I was able to find a dystopian era because all of these books have just been in one of the bins on the floor, and I was so sick of it. I really wanted to display them, so I'm thrilled to be able to show off my Hunger Games, Divergent, Maze Runner, and then I had some extra room, so I put the Warrior Cats books that I own in there. I'm thrilled. I can't wait to read these. And then down there, this is the same as before, my SJM books, and then down there, same as before, my Harry Potter books. They are very much hidden behind these bins. Over here is a bit different, a little bit different. This is going to be now my Peter Pan section. It used to be back there. My Sherlock books, that used to be up there. And then here are my writing and poetry books. They did used to be right here. And then down this way, these are now my entire normal fiction TBR. They used to be up covering those two shelves. These are the remaining. I unhauled a lot of these books. I just had to be really real with myself of what I would actually read or not. So these are just general fiction, as well as a few non-fiction books in there. And then down below, behind here, is the rest of my non-fiction. So it's my photography books, my travel books, my birding books, stuff like that. And then everything in this bin right here on the ground is going to be the overflow of that. So it's all of my extra cooking books, travel books, all of that. The books on top are the ones that I'm hoping to read pretty soon and then get rid of. These books in here are the remaining books. Actually, let me talk about this one first. These are all of the remaining books from the priority TBR. So for example, I have the Cool Prince over there, but I have the rest of the series in here, and that is the entirety of this box. I won't lie, almost the whole this side is all just Cassandra Clare books because City of Bones is up there. I'm hoping to read it this year, but we'll see. So this is all the overflow for priority TBR, and I really like the way that is, so that I don't have to be rooting through here just to look through books. I know they are all sequels, or like the Night Circus I want to read around the same time as the Starless Sea. So I'm thrilled with that, because then this last bin right here is just all of the other TBR books that would not fit anywhere else. So it's a lot of YA fantasy, a few more YA books, a few other fantasy books, but really these are just like the last things of TBR books that did not fit anywhere else. And then a little book carrier case, and then I put my poor candles on the ground right there. And then over that way, see me in the mirror there, hello, those are all the books that I am unhauling. I am like beyond thrilled. It's 98 books, which is just insane to me. I'm so happy with that, and that is where all of the the books are going now. I'm so thrilled. These piles of books used to be like all around this way. There were just piles of books everywhere and I hate it. It made me feel so overwhelmed. But now that I'm able to put there were photography books on the ground right here, I was able to shove them down into this bottom thing so that now these bins can fit back here and it just feels so much more open. I'm thrilled. It did take me like 7 hours yesterday to do all this, but it was so worth it. I am thrilled, like beyond thrilled with these shelves now. They finally just feel super accessible to me. I really like the way I had it laid out before, like by genre, but by mixing my TBR and my red books all together, it was just really overwhelming me. And I just felt like I had too many options. And now, like most of the books like have their separate shelves of red and TBR, and I don't know why, but that's just making me feel like I have less books to read, even though I still have quite a lot. So the next video I'm about to film is going to be that unhaul video where I'm going to go through all 98 books that I'm getting rid of. It is one of my biggest unhauls ever, and it was really needed. I have an insane amount of books. I started yesterday with 839 books, and I'm ending it with 744. So I am back down to below 800. I'm really happy with that. And my reading percentage before the unhaul was 25.7%, and now I'm up to 28.9%. I am thrilled about that. I now have 529 books on my unread TBR. That's still a lot. It's still a lot, but I think I can get down below 500 this year if I try really, really hard. But anyway, thank you so much for watching my bookshelf refresh. The, oh my god, 7 hours of footage that I probably have to go through now. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. I'm so happy with this. I feel better. My room feels better. My books feel better. This was so worth it. Take this as a sign to go through your books and do a little refresh, and maybe to try sorting your books in a different way than you have before. Maybe you already have your books like this and you want to try the genre refresh, or you want to try color coded for some reason, or you want to try a different way. I am thrilled. Like I said before, I wasn't sure if this way was going to work, and I fully anticipated me not liking it and then going back to like all fantasy together, whether it's read or unread. But I'm really happy I gave this a try, and my trusty little guide was pretty good. I did change a few things around, but I'm pretty happy with the way it is now. But again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.